And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. without Jerry Jr. He's unable to make it this Saturday. Hopefully, he'll be able to join us maybe after the holiday next week. But today we have Hero Geek. He's agreed to join us and accompany me today, and he's got a lot to say, people. If you've been following him on X, you know he has a lot to say, and it's some good stuff. So, welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
man. Thanks for joining me. I
oh,
appreciate it.
no worries, no worries. Yeah, with the stuff that I have to say and my opinion, oftentimes I have to think about: is it worth it for me to ruffle feathers? Is it worth it for me to get some flack? Knowing I'm going to get some pushback post. Um, and I just say screw it. I want to say what I want to say. But yeah, this latest one about the Batman Nightfall trailer that I posted.
Yeah.
I've gotten some pushback, but also a lot of support too, including from you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so
mean, I think you're on point. So
yeah, it's
I think you're saying what needs to be said, and a
yeah,
lot of people aren't actually saying it, especially as concisely as you are. And I think that's what I appreciate about
yeah. I try my best to be as articulate and as understood as possible. Even then, like, oh, you don't get it, or I think you're being too harsh. I've always been the kind of person that has vehement opinions. I'm not a fence sitter, you
it.
know. I'm not. If I believe something, I believe it 100%. Yeah, that's the way I'm wired.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing. I don't have a problem with it, even if I may disagree on a point or two, which I can't think of any right now.
Right.
But I know you're being honest and you're being earnest,
Yeah.
and that's important. That's what's important, is because that means we can have a good faith conversation. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's the part that's when you're on social media, you know, that's the challenge, right? A
Yes.
lot of people aren't there in good faith, unfortunately. So that's where it gets frustrating. You get the trolls, you get people that are just there to be contrarian.
Uh,
they really don't care either way. you know but yeah, that's what I appreciate, is that this guy's, he means what he's saying.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Maybe some people feel I mean it too much. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, look, you can argue that he cares too much or something. Okay, maybe he does, but maybe we need more of that. We need
Right.
people that care, enough to say something and point things out, even when it seems like the ride is fun. You need someone to go, hey guys, there's this cliff ahead. Maybe we should slow down or stop or make a left or a right turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. And maybe people think I'm kind of a buzzkill for that reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the pushback is, I know we've had conversations about certain individuals who, they kind of like everything, no
Yeah.
matter what, how bad it is, right? How good or bad it is, because they just want to like the stuff. They just want to consume the content. And it's understandable to a degree. Like, you just want to have fun, right? You want to be in that sort of ignorance is bliss state of mind.
Right.
But it's like, if you're enjoying the stew, right? But then you see people slipping things in there that shouldn't be in the stew, right? Why do you want to keep eating, right? Why wouldn't you stop and go, hey, what's going on, right? And don't get mad at the other guy who stopped eating his stew and said, hey, you put something in the stew that shouldn't be there, right? And that's kind of what it is. It's like you want to just consume content and enjoy, but at the same time, it's like it's not that simple anymore. It used to be kind of simple, right?
Yeah.
But it's in the last, what I always say, since around 2014 or so.
Yeah.
It's just hasn't been that simple, you know, and that's unfortunate. because entertainment, generally speaking, is about escapism, right? It's about just enjoying something for what it is. Something that ignites our imagination, allows us to explore possibilities that are otherwise impossible, right? And also just to give us, signals for empathy and sympathy and love, or sometimes to make us think, or sometimes to educate us, right? If it's something historically based or a documentary, there's a purpose for it. And right now, you know, and that includes propaganda. But right now, it's leaning so heavily into propaganda, right? More than I think it has in a long time.
Very long.
Probably since before I
Yeah.
was born, for sure. You know, and that's why it's problematic, because not only is the propaganda, the fact that it's propaganda, but the fact that the propaganda itself is problematic, right? It's one thing to have propaganda that promotes family, that promotes good deeds, that promotes heroism, that promote, even Americanism in the sense of being patriotic, right? All those things are
Yeah,
inherently
it's
good,
like it's like
right?
nowadays being a nationalist is a bad thing. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's it's like, yeah, it's because we don't want to argue that there is no propaganda. We want to argue that there's a such thing as objectively good or positive versus negative, right?
Yeah.
That's really the problem, is the negative aspects of what we're seeing.
Well, okay, so let's touch on what my point for the last few days has been. So the Batman Nightfall trailer dropped. Um, One of my favorite Batman stories that I read, and this trilogy of movies, which is cool that they're making it into a trilogy because they can tell the story correctly. At least that I like.
Yeah,
But my issue with it is that they seem to have added content to it that forced it to be an R rating. I don't
right.
understand why.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
and
understand why. They did the same thing for Long Halloween, Batman Long Halloween. Why? What is
yeah,
it
yeah.
that they
Uh,
saw in the original comic and said, you know what? We need to make this bloodier. You know what? We need to make dropping off an F
or
bomb.
or
You
it's under the
know?
guise of mature. We need to make it
Right.
mature. And it's like, well, sure, it is mature, and then there's just adult and
And
explicit,
this
right?
is a, this is a cesspool that DC has been marinating in for a long time.
Very true.
I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have actually, even in their animated movies, right? Which I used to be a real big fan of, you know, way back in like the 2000s or
Yeah,
whatnot. Um,
to me,
it's
for
just
me,
progressively gotten more and more
right,
explicit with
well,
language and,
content,
you know,
just
yeah, certain kind of
everything.
jokes, and yeah, it's to the point where it's kind of like, why are they doing this? Because I'm not asking for it, and I'm an adult, and I'm a fan of DC, but I don't want, quote unquote adult adult themes is one thing, right? Like marriage and family or something,
Yeah,
relationship. But adult kind as in sense of explicit content, it's like, yeah, I'm not asking for that, especially in animation,
well,
right?
it's
Like
it.
animation is a
Yeah.
special kind of
Now,
medium.
where I saw the line, because like you, I was also a big fan of the early to mid animated movies that they were doing. I liked a lot of them, and I own a lot. I own a lot of them. For
Yeah,
me, where I felt a shift was with the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie.
yeah, yeah. I saw that movie. Yeah, that was a very
That was
depressing.
that was movie was a very hard PG-13, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, very. Yeah. I mean, honestly, would it even be PG 13 if it was in theaters? Like,
it was brushing shoulders with an R rating. It
yeah,
really
it
was.
definitely was. Yeah, exactly.
And everything that came after that just progressively kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then we have the Justice League Dark movie that was a hard R. We have the one of them where like Darkseid just and the Parademons brutally murdered a bunch of the Justice League in really graphic, gory, violent ways. I never saw those movies because I was already done. Um, but it wasn't just the animated movies; it was everything. The I don't know if you remember the Titans TV show that came out several years ago. There was that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
And I tried watching that.
There was also the,
It was
the
awful. It was awful.
in the same vein, the Doom Patrol show that they did, it only lasted one season. The one season Swamp Thing, those were all mature rated projects.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, the Swamp Thing, from what I recall, watching it as a kid, the movie, that was my introduction to the Swamp Thing, and it was always kind of on the adult side, right? Which that's I'm like, if it started that way, I don't have an issue with it continuing that. My issue is when things don't start like objectively speaking, Superman has never been on the explicit side of
Neither
storytelling.
neither has Batman. I mean,
Right. Neither has Batman. Neither a lot of these even Wonder Woman, right? Even in her debut, even though she was supposed to be a feminist icon, was never to the extreme that we're seeing in a lot of
yeah,
the feminist
and
oriented, representations we see in
yeah.
movies and TV shows today. So it's kind of like, that's my main issue. Is like, why are you taking something that didn't start off this way and you're trying to make it that way?
And now we have a transgender Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here?
But
Like, what is the
but
purpose?
this is a rabbit hole that DC has been falling into for a while. That the Zack Snyder movies is also a result of that. They were really really violent, and we have R-rated cuts of the Justice League movie, and
Right.
we have James Gunn came in with the Peacemaker, which is I'm rated, and then his random show,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is rated. You know,
Peacemaker is a piece of work.
yeah.
It's
So
ridiculous.
so I'm sitting here and like I didn't fall for the bait and switch that was his Superman movie. A lot of people did. A lot of people fell for that.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I even gave it a chance. I thought, oh, okay, it's not so bad. But man, I do have my criticisms, right? And some are nitpicks, and some are kind of like, yeah, like why is he like the beginning? I really don't like. So yeah, I have my criticism. I tried to give him a chance with that
Right.
movie because I thought, well, hopefully this is the direction he's going.
It's
But from
not
what I'm hearing with the latest Supergirl movie,
that it's
it's
yes.
clearly not.
I'm
It's not.
I'm so happy that it's failing at the box office miserably. I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
not doing
glad.
it at all from what I'm hearing. Um, I mean, it was kind of doomed to fail, you know,
Right.
from the beginning, just from the rumors and then the lead, Millie
Yeah.
Alcock, I think that's
It's
her name.
so,
She's been making comments
yeah.
regarding, LGBTQ and all this stuff. And
And
feminism.
how
It's like it's
Christian
the same playbook as
Christian
Snow
I guess
White and and the
yes,
Acolyte and all
Rachel
these other.
Zegler, right.
Yeah, it's the same playbook, and they clearly haven't learned any lessons.
No. No, no, no,
They're
no.
just doubling down. That's why a lot of people thought things would change with the Trump being elected, and they did see on the surface level some shifts, right, in the top level of entertainment, where you have executives meeting with Trump and shaking hands. And it's like, but that doesn't mean anything. That
It
doesn't mean,
hasn't it has
as it trickled down to us,
yeah.
that they're going to shift gears. It just
It
means they're
exactly.
paying to play. They're going to press the flesh to make sure they get the deals they need and all this kind of stuff, right? Whatever when it
It
comes to policy.
really it really hasn't made a significant impact. At
Yeah,
least
it's not. They're just doubling down, and they're going to keep doubling down because, as I've pointed out, I think this is all a part of this sort of in a general sense, a collective
And
agenda, certain
I want to
individuals to push these things.
I do want to touch on this subject a little later, but for right now, I want to like continue with the train of thought that this RM rated superhero trend, I feel it's become the rule rather than the exception.
Yeah, yeah, definitely is.
It's
It's this cynicism that gets injected.
yeah. It's not only that. It's not only the cynicism. It's also the violence
Yeah,
and the language. You know, someone earlier said, "Well," because I had mentioned in my original post, I had mentioned how I don't plan on watching or don't want to watch Deadpool Wolverine. Well, the violence there is played for laughs. That doesn't matter if it's played for laughs or if it's still there.
yeah.
You know.
I mean, playing it for laughs, contextually speaking, can still be problematic. The fact that it is played for laughs versus something that's taken with the proper
Yeah.
seriousness, right? So
So I don't
yeah,
understand. I don't understand what the point of that was. Like, oh, well, it's play for laughs. You're not supposed to take it seriously. You have to think of it like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I'm like, I don't remember Bugs Bunny chopping people's heads off with a sword. So okay,
well, not only that, but chopping people's heads off with a sword and blood spreading out of the
yeah,
body, and
yeah,
like it's just gore. It's not, you know, it's not slapstick, right? And it's clear that's not necessarily the intention, right? Because it is so gory, right? The
yeah,
goal is body horror, not comedy, right? So, because I mean, I remember back in the day there was a complaint about you brought up Bugs Bunny about those cartoons being too violent, right? Because he
uh,
hits a man over the head with a mallet, right? But it's
yeah,
like, well, he survives, right? And there's no blood, there's no splatter, there's no, it's a lump on his head, and then he shakes his head and recovers, right? It's clearly absurd, and that's the point I'm making with like what you're saying with these movies. It's like the concept of the absurdity aspect is being played down way more than it should be, and it's clearly a celebration of gore rather than played for laughs, as some claim. And I think that's on purpose, in my opinion. So I don't think it's a matter of these directors and writers are
yeah.
they're
And
just not
also,
talented or something.
I want to point out something. There's a difference between, even though I don't like it, there's a difference between, because I know that Jason Momoa wants to do an R-rated Lobo movie. From what I understand, the original Lobo comics were pretty violent. I know that they were.
Right, right.
Right? I don't like that. I didn't read those, and if there is a movie made based on Solo with Jason Momoa, I'm not gonna watch it. But at least I can admit that okay, well, the original comics were like that. So even though I
Right.
don't dig that, I don't
But
have it.
that's my point, though, is if it's pre-existing, right?
Yeah.
Or wholly new, right? Whatever the case, it still doesn't excuse it, right? But it's like at least there's a valid rationale behind it that, well, this has been the character all along, so
Yeah,
there's no shocker here.
and
But when it comes to Supergirl, Superman, Batman, the Flash, Green Lantern, all these heroes that have been aspirational since their inception, and now you want to inject, you know, this dark, cynical, explicit humor and explicit graphic content. It's like, yeah, now you're putting a square peg in a round hole.
yeah,
And
and
that's where I have
you
issues.
know, yeah, you know how I feel about things like Invincible and The Boys, so I don't have to.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and that's valid. And that's what I'm saying. It's valid to say I don't like it because of that, right? And it's like fair enough. Just because at the end of the day, as a consumer, you can say, well, I wasn't a fan anyway, so I'm not going to indulge it. But if you're already a fan of one iteration and aspect that's been, pretty much hardline, canon for 50 years, in the last 20 years, they decide, oh, we're going to make
Yeah.
them
And there's
the complete opposite. That's a problem. You have a right to be upset about that.
there's been
point that out. You know.
there's been this push for a long time to make DC more violent through Batman. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Batman has been this catalyst for we need to push it harder and we need to push it harder. We need to push it harder.
Yeah. It definitely was kicked off with Batman,
Yeah.
and because it was so wildly popular, which to be fair is understandable because the nature of the character in its inception lends itself to those things. So it almost feels like it could have been inevitable. But
Yeah.
yeah, now they're taking it as a template for everything else.
Yeah, with Nightfall, why? Why is it R rated? That's what I want to know. What did they add to it, to the original story, to push it to that rating?
Right.
You know, I don't know. It was
curious to find out.
if there was more of a balance. If we had projects like we used to get, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, Spectacular Spider-Man, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Teen Titans, all of those, if we had more things like that, this wouldn't bother me as much as it does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. That's a good point because there's choice, right, in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And right now it's the choices are limited to practically nothing. Right? It's like
and by the way,
dark and gritty and explicit,
yeah,
or there's nothing.
Or they're clearly like pushing divisive DI woke message.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you have no other option but to simply remove yourself from the marketplace.
Like this one of the most recent Spider-Man cartoons, they race swapped Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn in that,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
like, why?
Yeah, why?
it literally makes no sense when there are black characters in the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, it was Robbie.
So yeah, it's like why don't you just play up that existing character and write more story for them? And make them more involved somehow. Versus let's ignore him and just waste swap this one. Right?
So yeah, if there was more of a balance, and I don't mean bringing back old shows from back then because they're just gonna ruin them like they did with X-Men '97. I'm sorry for all of you out there swear by X-Men '97, but no.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard. I didn't bother watching it because I just heard too much about it. And this is confirmed. This is not rumors that there's things that I just don't agree with. I'm like, I'm just not gonna give it the time of day. I can't.
Like what they did to Rogue in that, and like,
yeah, Rogue and Morph.
Morph, yeah.
Thanks.
So no. I know a lot of people like, bring back these old shows. No, don't do that because they're just gonna be infected by modern audience itis, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to see these shows come back, even if the original cartoon ended in a cliffhanger. Leave it as a cliffhanger. I don't want loose ends to be tied up if it's going to be told through the lens of modern storytelling, modern audience telling.
Yeah, exactly. It's modern, reinterpreting things with a modern worldview just destroys the thing.
Yeah,
it does. Postmodernism in general. There's very few examples of actual artistic integrity.
I can think of one modern example that I did support, and that is the SWAT Cats comic book.
Oh, SWAT, yeah, but I don't think they reinterpreted that through modern.
No, they did not. They
just basically continue what was.
I actually emailed because when I found out that they were doing Indiegogo no, Kickstarter. It was Kickstarter for like continuing the SWAT Cats in a comic form. I personally emailed both creators and asked them some questions, voiced my concerns. They individually emailed me back like an hour after I had sent it. Like, this is huge.
Nice.
Okay, they addressed all my concerns. They answered all my questions. That earned them a back. I backed the project.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Yeah.
You know. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I'm not going to shut up about it. And disagree with me. You know.
Yeah, don't keep. I think eventually, if enough people, speak up and point out the nonsense, more people will start to see it and realize, yeah, they're right. Like, this is too much. And because there are, we're already seeing these movies and TV shows flop. They lose money. They get canceled. So it's the market speaks, right? And it's telling them we don't want it, and it's getting worse and worse, right? Where fewer and fewer people are supporting these projects. So, and that's good. The problem is,
but the problem we still have a lot of FOMO people of
yeah, exactly. I was going to say the problem is there's still, I shouldn't say enough people, but definitely enough to signal that somebody wants it, right? Like I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and the popcorn meter, which is the audience, is at 76%. First, so it's kind of like, even though the critic score is way lower, it's 57, which is surprising to me. Usually it's the other way around. So it's kind of surprising.
What is He-Man standing at right now?
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. That's a good question, actually, because I heard that wasn't doing very well either.
Because I got some things to say about He-Man.
Yeah, I've had my criticisms just from looking at the trailers. So that's pretty high. It's at 86%. And tomato meter is 68%, which is still good. But the audience score, it's a lot higher. So, and that's what I've been seeing throughout social media is generally a lot of people are saying, I watched it and I liked it. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was, which is like, okay.
This is where my my popping your bubble comes in. All right. So
burst your bubble.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I really don't. So let's look at this. Let's talk about the Man-at-Arms race swap, right? I've seen a lot of people on X start, because I posted about this, start with, well, I'm against race swaps, but that's it, you lost. Once you put a however in there, then whatever you say next doesn't matter.
Right.
You
like saying, but
you either against it completely or it doesn't matter to you. You can't be both. Well, Idris Elba is a good actor. Yeah, he is. So what?
Right.
Well, actually, Man-at-Arms being white isn't an essential part of that character. Okay, let's take that. Let's take that logic to its conclusion.
That's
okay,
yeah.
Right. So I'm going to bring up Lando Calrissian from The Empire Strikes Back. Right. What elements of that character are essential with race? Right.
Nothing.
Right. Nothing. So if, God forbid, Disney decides to remake the original trilogy, they cast a white actor as Lando Calrissian, people will lose their minds.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right? They'll lose their minds. Right?
Yeah.
They'll cry racism. They'll flip out. But
Yep.
I could make the same argument that people make about Man at Arms, and I can make it about Lando Calrissian. Right?
Yeah. Or Black Panther.
No, not so much Black Panther. I mean, I
Why
understand
not?
your point, but I chose Lando Calrissian for a reason.
No, I agree. It's just because that's a very specific dynamic that isn't contingent upon his race.
Yeah.
Right. Versus Black Panther, well, his origins is Africa, is an
Yeah.
African country.
Right.
But there is such thing as an Afrikaans who is not.
Right. No, I get
So
that, but
you can just change the lore slightly to have a white Black Panther. That's my point. Which does happen also, where the lore is changed, right? They change lore all the time, right? And that's kind of the point with even with Man at Arms. It's like you're saying he's black. Well, then that changes any lore that was established about that character as well, right? That you understand what I'm saying? Like you're just making a new character, even though you're saying it's just a race swap. There's a lot of nuance that pours into that, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the race, and gender swap even more so.
Even
right?
more.
And that's the point I'm making. It's like it's not so simple as a lot of people think it is, right? If you're talking about established characters, and that's what's so problematic about it. On top of that, it insinuates and infers so many things that clearly a lot of people who defend it or try to ignore it or gaslight you, right, as if it's no big deal. They completely ignore or haven't thought it through.
Yeah,
right? It's like literally being insulted here.
Or they just call me. They just call me a racist baby. So I mean that.
Right. That's what I mean. That's their argument. You're a racist baby, or you're just a bigot. Why? Because I don't kowtow the narrative, right? The narrative is it's all multiculturalism. It's all good. It's all gravy. No, it's not. right? It's not. It's just this thing called reality, right? Where there's a true purpose and meaning behind doing these things that you're choosing to ignore and pretend doesn't exist, right? Like, and as a black person, when you're race swapping a white character, and then knowing there's an existing black character that's already established as a black character, and you're completely ignoring that black character for the the so-called better, more important character, right? And that's what's being insinuated. It's also saying, well, here's some scraps, right? Since we already built this character up, we'll just flip a switch, and now they're brown.
Right, and that's called
happy with it.
That's
right?
late. That's
called sloppy seconds.
Instead of like developing and putting in focus on the forefront for like Clam Champ, I think is the one you're talking about from the Masters of the Universe mythos, Clam Champ, right? They could have like really like highlighted Clam Champ,
Exactly. Even if his lore wasn't fully developed, this is the opportunity.
Exactly. Right.
This is the opportunity. Let's build it out. Let's flesh it out. Let's figure out where he's from and all. Like, let's build a story around him to make him a more invested character. But no, that's too much work. And that's the other side of it is, it's multi-sided, right? Oh, you're not worth it. These black characters aren't worth the time and effort and energy
to develop.
It's easier to just swap.
Yeah,
because you're not worth it. We want to appeal to the black audience or fill in the
it's much
we're too lazy. We're not important enough.
Yeah, it's
to create and go through the effort and do the heavy lifting and put the time and the years it requires to get to a mainstream level, popularity.
It's much easier to just race swap Man at Arms.
It's just easy to race swap. Let's just race swap Superman.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just race swap Batman. Let's just race swap Wonder Woman. Why? Because it's easier. And that's instant. Oh, the blacks will love this because we race. That's how they think, right? It's like the irony is the people that you think are racist that resist this stuff are not the racists. It's the people that do this stuff that are the racists. Period.
Right, and and again, like I want to bring up again Lando, because Lando is a great character. I love Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite in
You
Star Wars.
know, and he like I would he is who he is. He was Billy D. Williams, and he was great. He was awesome. Like, he defined the role. But I'd be lying if I said there's nothing about him that is quote unquote black.
Right. That's not supposed to be. The only thing black about Lando Calrissian is the fact that he's brown skinned,
Yes,
right?
that's it.
That's the point, though, right? He's a character in this galactic space adventure.
Uh-huh.
We're not harkening back to American slave trade.
No,
That doesn't apply,
no.
right? His backstory could be anything, and it's fine, right? And that's the point. Like, I remember seeing when there was this recent controversy with another comic creator who didn't toe the line, right? Who rejected race swapping, right? And he was getting lambasted. And it's like, why can't we? He poses, why can't we? Why can't black people be in space and just be in space? Like, why does their story have to be anchored to American, U.S. Jim Crow racial struggles,
right.
slavery? Like, why? Why? We're talking about science. It's one thing to say, to make stories about the past, fictionalized or not. You can kind of make an argument like, yeah, man, but even if it's fictionalized history, you can't just ignore this and slavery or something. It's like, well, maybe you're right, but we're looking at the future. We're looking at not even the future, an alternate reality that's happening in a whole other galactic, backdrop. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to care about any of that stuff. I'm just going to write a character that's a human being that has experiences, that goes on adventures, and that's what Lando Calrissian represents, right?
Yeah.
He is a quintessential escapism character, right? It's like, it's the very thing that so-called pro-blacks claim they want, is Lando. That's why it's so. I shouldn't say it's shocking, because it's not, but it's fascinating that he's not as more popular than he is.
That's
Right?
okay. You know what?
You think
glad-
that Kenner Toys and all the other,
I'm glad you
they would
brought.
go,
You brought this.
oh, look, the blacks really love this guy. Let's
Right.
really make him a hero.
I'm
They
glad.
didn't do that.
Hold on. I'm glad you brought this up. So okay. Well, hold on. Let me. So my point about Lando, before I get to the next point, is that if you don't have a problem with Man-at-Arms being race swapped to be black, then you should not have a problem if, for whatever reason, Lando gets race swapped to a white guy.
Right, exactly. That would be consistency, right?
Yeah.
That would be intellectual honesty.
And
That's the problem with this. That's why we're having this
people,
conversation. It's not intellectually honest.
people that went to go see the movie and liked it hate it when I pointed this out. They got really defensive about it. They fought hard at me about it. They called me racist. They really, really lashed out. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
They really lashed out because I challenged them to think about their support of the movie critically. Well, I liked it, so you suck. Is basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like I collect action figures, and I have Lando Calrissian action figures. I go to Walmart and Target and all kinds of stores. Lando Calrissian is one of the biggest peg warmers ever, and that's sad.
It is sad. Yep.
I have 3 Lando Calrissian figures. The one from Empire Strikes Back. I have one from him from Return of the Jedi. Both. The one from the beginning of the movie where he's disguised as a guard in Jabba's palace, and then later on when he's flying the Millennium Falcon for the assault on the second Death Star. I have all 3 action figures of Lando Calrissian. Every time I go to one of these stores, like 20, 15 Lando Calrissians on the racks, just unbought, right? So,
right. What's the message here?
What's the message?
And see, and this is the thing you just pointed out, right? But then you will do a race swapped character, like a
Uh,
man, and guess what? It'll be the exact same result.
yeah, yeah,
So, so the question is, clearly it isn't just about, oh, we need representation, right? It's like, no, we want good characters that resonate with audiences. And the problem with Alan Calrissian is the fact that they never really developed him beyond the movies, right?
hmm,
Maybe in the books, I haven't read a lot of the Star Wars books, but I don't see him mentioned quite,
yeah.
very
They
much.
they 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 did a pretty good job in some of the early
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, the
uh
other graphic novels or something. But that's what I'm saying. It's like he really has been played up, which not that he necessarily has to, but the point is that if the goal is we need representation, oh, we have a black character already in this universe that's already painted as heroic, etc., likable. Oh, let's build out his story. But no one's ever done that, right? But at the same time, many of these same people who get into comics and get into the industry claiming, diversity and claiming we want representation, they ignore those characters. They don't
huh.
even try. They just take existing popular characters and race swap them or
Right.
gender swap them, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, so you're either lazy or incompetent, right? And clearly your agenda isn't true representation. It's something else, right? And that's kind of the point. That's what I'm getting at. Is fundamentally speaking, it's not on the veneer of what we're seeing is not what it is, right?
Right.
And that's part of the problem why they keep doubling down because they don't care that we don't like it, and they don't care who does like it either. They don't care about you as an audience or a customer. They simply care about pushing their agenda. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, exactly. So for everybody out there who thought the He-Man movie was fun and that our butt hurt about what I said, um, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, don't be sorry. Don't
No,
be
no.
sorry.
Anyway,
Just
I'm
tell them
sorry that you
tough
were.
luck. Tough.
I'm sorry that you
Too
were.
bad.
Sorry that you were insulted. I'm sorry that what I said as truth made you feel a certain way.
I'm not. I mean, you can like what you want to like. I can't control what appeals to you, right? That's your prerogative. But the reality is what it is, and
If you're
you can
gonna
accept that or reject it. That's also your choice.
right, if you're
But
gonna
I'm not sorry for pointing it out because it needs to be pointed out.
if you're gonna come at me being butthurt, and if you're gonna if because a lot of these people that are praising the movie are people in our circle in our space are quote unquote culture warriors, right? But they went to go see the movie anyway, and they praised it and they liked it. But out of the other side of their mouth, they're complaining about the Odyssey,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Right. Why? Because they don't think it's going to be a good movie. That's number one.
Uh-huh.
Um, Already, right? So now let's just rip it apart. And it's like, yeah, it's inconsistent. It's like, well, even if He Man is a watchable movie and entertaining, rip that apart too. You know, go in on the fact that they race swapped. You know, and I like what Rasmus has to say. He says Nick Offerman should have been
Oh yeah.
Man at Arms. He's even
Yeah.
gotten fit for some streaming roles as well. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like it's not like there was just no other choice, right? It's of
And
course there's another
so
choice.
that's
There's
these
always another
people
choice.
that's what these people claim. Well, he was the better actor for the job, or
No,
and
not
Elba
necessarily. Yeah,
act.
I agree. Yeah, it's like no, that's really a pretty lame excuse.
It is.
Um, it's objectively false, right?
Also, is it just me watching the trailer stuff? The guy they picked to play He-Man is kind of I don't know. I don't think he was muscular enough.
Yeah, I had the same complaint when I first saw the trailer. I mentioned that he doesn't look like like a He-Man.
No, he really
you
did.
know, and I'll be honest, from the clips, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm sure. Like I said, I'm not going to disagree that it's not edited. It's probably a decent movie, so I probably
Maybe
would like it if I just suspended all my criticisms,
I can't do
But one
that.
thing I
I can't
don't
do that.
like, even aside from the race swap, is he just doesn't look like He-Man. He doesn't look. He looks kind of, I don't know,
He
kind
looks,
of effeminate, in my opinion.
yes,
I'm not
feminine, kind of
sure.
weak.
Yeah, yeah. Even though he's clearly in good shape. I mean, I'm not saying he's like out of shape. He looks fit, and all
Yeah,
that, but
but
just doesn't.
we
He
needed
doesn't look
we needed we needed
masculine.
Darn.
He looks effeminate. He looks
Yeah,
like when I saw the fight scenes in the trailer, he looks like he's doing ballet. You know,
yeah.
it doesn't look like he's actually fighting. I don't know. It's just like I expected something on the level of a Flash Gordon kind of feel with the movie. Um,
Right.
Flash Gordon, to this day is one of my favorite movies of all time. It really is such a fun movie, and it's just and but the whole time Flash Gordon, he looks like a man. He acts like a man. He's masculine. He doesn't look like he's doing ballet
But,
when he's
basically,
fighting.
he needed a few more months in the gym.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that would have helped. Um, perhaps I hope so, but I don't know. Maybe they'll do another movie and he'll be bigger and stronger looking. I don't know. But
Uh,
in this one, I'm just
I
not
don't
seeing.
think I don't think there's gonna be a sequel. Right.
Yeah, that's right. It's not doing very well.
No. Oh.
I'm not sure what the. I looked up the numbers actually. For let me see. So box office movie. And he's worldwide. Wow, $104 million.
Ooh, ouch! That's for a lot.
Oh,
That's
that's
bad.
terrible. And only 59 domestic. 59 million.
Yikes!
Yeah, that's bad. Wow. That and it's been out since when? It's been a month at least.
Right.
About a month, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Like
crazy.
over a month, I think.
Oh, that's wow. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I actually thought it would be two or 300, 400, I don't know, something like that.
No.
But something like He-Man should be like 700 million. Like it should be doing gangbusters. But
Yeah, by the right people. By the
yeah,
right.
that's the problem. Yeah, because someone I think it was I can't think of the name. He's an author. I follow him on X, but he tried to make the argument that it's a generational thing and young people aren't interested. And I disagree with that. I'm like, no, I don't think so. It has nothing to do with that because there's been a resurgence in popularity for several 80s and 90s IPs, including He-Man, Justice League Unlimited. That's early 2000s, right? Like it hasn't gone away. It's been reimagined into memes and different things. And we can thank
Well, the
um,
thing is, though, it's
what's the show Seth with by Seth Green.
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken. We can thank Robot Chicken for a lot of that too,
A lot. Yeah,
because they
I've heard.
reintroduced these characters to a new generation in a funny way, but it makes you go look it up and all this stuff. So I don't think that's the case. I think it's a
Well,
matter of
right.
production and marketing. It's just been
Well, the
terrible.
problem, the problem is that I heard some people who were very uh, well, I'm blanking on the word who criticized the movie, saying that when they were watching it, it just felt like they were watching He-Man memes, not actually He-Man.
Yeah, right. Because they reference those memes in the movie, which I don't think is inherently bad, but you still have to tell a good story. You still have to give spectacle and and take it seriously. And I think that's part of the problem is that the way they introduced this movie was with Adam sitting at a desk with the pronouns he him on his nameplate.
Oh yeah,
And it's kind of like I understand the joke, but I think it was a bit tone deaf, right? It's like
yeah,
you need to come in that's something that you introduce in a second or third trailer.
Yeah.
Or not at all. You just introduce in the movie as a gag,
Yeah.
right? That would have been a nice surprise gag, right? But you market it as if it's based. You say, hey, this movie's based, you guys. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. There's no virtue
No,
signal.
the thing is,
But
yeah,
then you race swap a main character, and that
I've heard
goes
that
out the
argument
window.
before. If it's based, they wouldn't have race swapped anything.
Yeah, that's my point. That all that good faith goes out the window. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like if you came at it. That's what I'm talking about. Like the production, the marketing, it was just bad. It's terrible, and that's why. And people pick up on that, even if they don't exactly know why. Right? They pick on like, no thanks. They don't feel the excitement because there's really nothing to be excited about. You know. And Rasmain says barbarians give modern audiences the. I
Well,
think you're right.
speaking,
You might be right.
speaking of barbarians, I'm actually kind of excited about this new Conan the Barbarian animated series by Genndy Tartakovsky or whatever. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I have actually. I think I saw a post about it. Haven't
I
delved into it.
I am intrigued. I've been getting into Conan. I've been reading a lot of the Titan comics that's been currently running right now. I've been reading some of the old Marvel comics, old 80s Conan the Barbarian comics, and I dig the character. And it's funny that we spoke about violence and gore and stuff like that. I have a different set of parameters when it comes to Conan. I'm okay with all of that. It does.
Yeah, but once again, it goes back to my earlier point that it started off that way. Like that's literally part of the persona in the world of Conan is that it is hyper violent, right? It's a barbarian movie, and it takes that to the logical ends, right? As the stories are told. So of course it's going to have violence in it, and things like, and it's going to have some levels of explicit content, right?
Yeah.
But it's handled in a way that lends itself to the story. It's not shoehorned in as compared to other things. And in addition, it doesn't hang its hat on that stuff.
No, it doesn't feel out of place with Conan. It doesn't.
Yeah. And that's the point. It's when you're taking things that are clearly not has never been in that sphere, and now you're saying, oh, we're going to throw it in there, and we're going to incorporate it somehow and make it. We're going to make Superman dark and brooding. It's like, well, yeah, but he's never been that. So why are you trying to do that? It doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't follow. And eventually it's just not going to go very far, as we saw with Man of Steel, right? And I have I rip Man of Steel apart. In my opinion, it's not a great movie. And that's controversial to a lot of stands who really love Zack Snyder's work.
Oh,
but
Snyder
it's
Bros.
not.
Yeah, Snyder Bros.
Yeah, Snyder Bros. It's not. I don't like anything Zack Snyder's done so far as the DC universe, except for Wonder Woman. I think that's the only thing I actually really enjoy.
Well, he didn't direct.
No, but I think he wrote it. I think he wrote or co-wrote it.
Did not. You know what? I'll admit I did not hate Wonder Woman. Okay, I can admit that.
I did. I actually love it. I think it's a great movie. It fails to stick the landing in the third act with the villain. It's a little too simple.
Ares been way cooler.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Like our perception of Ares in that movie is kind of like, okay. I was waiting for the mustache to disappear, and
yeah,
it never happened. So
no.
I'm like, oh, so that is Ares. Like, no, I don't think so. Yeah, so I think they kind of dropped the ball on that one, but it was still overall a good movie and a good production. I thought the portrayal by Gal Gadot was really good. She did a great job.
I'm gonna say something surprising now. Aside from I have mixed feelings about the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
I like the tone of the movie. I like the way they handled everything. I just think Jason Momoa was not Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, he was Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he was playing Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he's just Jason Momoa. I mean, that's it. He's Lobo in the Supergirl movie. He's
right,
just
an actor playing two different DC characters is a little like, why?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't be upset by the casting because I think, well, he does fit the mold. Um,
He
with
fits. Oh
Aquaman, not as much, but
no,
his portrayal was still fun.
it was. It's funny. You know who I think should have played Aquaman?
Who?
The guy who played Orm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's actually a really good actor.
yeah,
He's a good actor.
he's a good
Yeah,
actor.
he could have definitely been Aquaman.
I
Yeah,
think
I
he
agree.
should have been Aquaman.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
But it is maybe another life, I
I
guess.
wonder. I wonder what would happen if we race swap Black Manta.
I think there'll be riots. That's what
Yeah, they'll be right.
no, I'm
Oh
just,
man.
I'm
Uh,
just kidding. But
um. So
I
what's
mean, and
next
that's the
on the?
thing though. Black man, once again, just like
Yeah,
Lando Calrissian, right?
there's
He's
nothing
he's not
about
he's not Black Manta because he's a black man,
that. Yeah,
right? I think it's more or less because there is a such thing as a black Manta,
but then it was
and
saying,
so he can
well,
he can be anybody. He can
well,
be
well.
Asian. He could
They'll
be Mexican.
say,
You know,
well, yeah, then use that as an excuse to race swap Black Canary.
right, right, because the name says it all.
The name says it all. Yeah. Oh boy. Uh, any
I mean,
else
that's
on?
that's how simplistic this stuff gets, right?
Yeah,
It's so silly.
really.
It's like, yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, let's stop doing this nonsense. And,
Yeah.
you know, just portray these characters as they
I
should.
I'm very amused by the you're just racist comments. Like, is that all you got? You got nothing else? Like really? Or the ones one of them said that's a lot of words to say you're racist. Because I go a little long form sometimes, but that's just because I'm trying to make a point. Right?
Yeah,
I'm I'm taking the time to make sure I'm understood, but they can't be like a lot of times. I'm not reading all that because you're racist. I'm like, then how do you know what I'm saying? You just don't want to engage
right.
with it. You don't want to be proven wrong. You don't want to think.
Yeah,
And
reading requires thinking,
exactly.
and social media, you know, doesn't promote thinking.
No.
By its very nature and structure, it's designed to keep you from thinking. It's designed to get you to react. That's what social media is. Just remember, like with Twitter, you had what 150 characters, so you had to say everything you wanted to say in 150 characters.
Well, no, I pay for premium, so I can type as long as I want.
No, I know. I'm just saying, initially, like it's only designed to get reactions, right? It's not designed for you to have a thoughtful conversation.
Any critical
You know,
thinking is
that's
that
why they see multiple paragraphs and they go, "I'm not reading that."
exactly? Yeah, I'm not really.
That means I gotta think. you know,
Yeah.
that's why. It's like I
Yeah.
gotta think. No, I'm not here to think. I'm here to react, and that's
Exactly.
that's that's why. That's why you get those reactions because it's easier to just go, "Oh, you're a racist baby." I've never met a baby that was racist, but that's
No,
interesting.
no,
Maybe
no.
one day. But
Oh,
yeah, it's unfortunate.
they get so butthurt, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoyed it a little bit. Them getting all butthurt about
Yeah, I
it.
mean it's funny sometimes, right? It's
It's
like
hilarious. Yeah.
yeah, it's like what are we doing here? Like come on.
So, anything else on the discussion list?
No, that was it. I wanted to address your post and what you were saying and allow you to make your points, um, because they coalesce with my own sentiments too. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and for me, like I said, on a deeper level, there are people who are within our institutions, education and entertainment and government. They're pushing this stuff because they're
Well,
trying to destroy
I like to
what
get
we've
your
come to know to be true and good and right and
I,
righteous.
I like to get your input on these things, particularly the race swap, because you're a black guy, so you have a different perspective than I might have, you know.
Well, perhaps, but like I said, and I think I mentioned this in one of your posts, uh, and I said this earlier. Race swapping insults the audience. It insults white people, which is intent. Which is its intent is to insult either men, particularly white men, or to insult white people in general, right? Which is why they do it. That's why they do race swaps. That's why they do gender swaps. That's why they do what's it called, gender bending, right? They make a character appear to be bisexual or homosexual or whatever. They do that to insult what the character uh, represents, right? And then they also insult the audience they claim to be trying to appeal to and pander to, right? So if you're black, if you're Mexican or woman, or black woman, or even gay, and they swap a character that leans to your inclination, they're insulting you, right? They're telling you you're stupid and that you're not worth the effort or the energy to produce a real character that resonates, right? Not just with you as whatever you identify as, but you as a human being and generally as to a general audience. Like a good example is Cyborg, right? He's one of my favorite DC characters.
Mm-hmm.
Cyborg is very popular. Cyborg has been in several Teen Titan shows, right? He was finally portrayed in the movies. I believe he was created in the 80s or late 70s or 80s.
Why isn't there
For a Super Friends show?
Yeah,
as
why
a
isn't there
pandered to black people. But he's
why
become an endearing character over the years
why
to
isn't there a
everyone,
cyborg
not
movie?
just
Yeah.
black people. I'm
Why-
sorry, go ahead.
Why isn't there a cyborg movie?
That was what I was getting at. That he was in the movie, he was in Justice League, which was a cyborg movie. And I'm like, well, they should have just made a cyborg movie. But because they don't respect the character, that's number one. Because the character is seen as, oh, he's for the blacks, right? See, that's what I'm saying. Like the mindset of these people is a racist mindset. They see you as your color. They don't see you as a person. That's why they don't develop Cyborg, even though Cyborg is a great character. And thanks to a lot of comic book writers over the years, he's been handled with respect in the comics, right? But then what happens is the these racists get a hold of these characters, and then they say, well, we're gonna ignore him or we're gonna sideline him, right? And so Zack Snyder gets to make Justice League, but inside of Justice League, he tells Cyborg's story. And it's like, Zack Snyder, why don't you respect Cyborg as a character enough to just make a movie? Make his movie.
Well, maybe not Zack Snyder can do it. No.
Well, I'm just saying the point is he had the power to do that and he didn't. Instead, he makes him an afterthought within Justice League, right? And in the extended one, he was even more prominent, which I'm thinking, so why didn't you just make a Cyborg movie? You understand? Like, it's because they don't believe that a black-led franchise or character is going to make money.
Well, what about Black Panther?
They don't respect the audience, specifically the black audience, and that's why they don't do it.
What about Black Panther though?
Black Panther was a fluke.
Yeah.
I don't mean that's necessarily the success. I just mean the fact that they went ahead and made a separate movie, right? And they got a brand new director, Ryan Coogler, and thank God he is talented. He is a talented director.
Well, yeah, but the thing. What about?
Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
But when he took on the project, right, and you were watching the movie, you realize, yeah, he was probably a bit over his head. You can see that in the visual effects. You can see that even in the story itself, right? And it's like, but I think he pulled it off well for considering it was his first truly big budget blockbuster movie, right? But it's like, that's kind of my point. It's like, why are you handing off this character to someone who's brand spanking? Oh, because he's black. Oh, okay. Because we got a virtue signal. Because
and then there was Ironheart, which he just totally just flopped on.
Right, and that's trash from the beginning. That's what I'm saying. In the comics and in the series. Right? That's kind of my point. There's no respect to the
the
audience.
foundation, the
Therefore, they
foundation
don't
of
respect the characters that represents the audience.
the
That's
the
the
the,
case.
the problem with Ironheart that fundamentally at its core the character is flawed and is wrong. So they're not going to fix Ironheart in a TV show when she's fundamentally just a stupid character.
Yeah, but they could have. That's the point I'm making. And at no point do they try because she's just a tool, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at is Black Panther's a tool, Ironheart's a tool. All these black characters are tools, and if they can't use that tool, they ignore it and they use the main character because it's a better tool, right? To virtue signal and to pander things like they're not there to try. Oh, Cyborg has a story that we need to tell, and I think audiences will love it, right? I truly believe that. I think he does have a story, because I grew up watching them super fans, and I was kind of like, I'm like, this is a missed opportunity,
Yeah.
right? And but they don't want to take it because they can't use them as a tool, right? And if they do, it's not going to work anyway because nobody's going to like it because you're using them as a tool. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, but then the problem is, what do they say? One bad apple spoils the bunch, right? And so when you have the race swapping and the clear virtue signaling and the lazy writing, right, and the pandering and these other, this one tier, or things that are objectively better, like a Cyborg or Orlando Calrissian, they're authentic, they're original, they're right.
Mm-hmm.
They suffer because of it, right? Because now everyone looks at them in the same lens, right? Especially if it's coming from the same studio, right? So if DC announced a Cyborg movie, all of us are going to roll our eyes and say, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Yes, even though Cyborg is a hell of a character, he's a great character. People love Cyborg. He's awesome, you know. But and it has nothing to do with necessarily he's black or people just love Cyborg. Just like John Stewart's Green Lantern. Same thing. He was portrayed in Justice League and definitely there as a virtue signal, right? To say, hey, we need to diversify it up. So we're gonna have a black Green Lantern instead of the white, typical white.
But
And it's okay, that's fine. But
was
they gave us what they give us. They gave us excellent storytelling.
exactly.
They gave us excellent character development.
He
They
was
gave us some meat and potatoes that went beyond the fact that he's a black character.
He was written well, and he wasn't a race swap Hal Jordan.
Right, and he wasn't race swap. That's a good point. He's a distinct character.
Yeah.
In the universe, right? And that's a very good distinction to make. Thank you. But you understand what I'm saying? So now kids grew up watching him, and to them, he's Green Lantern. But for some reason, they decided to do a movie, and they cast Ryan Reynolds to do Hal Jordan. And it's like the generation watches they don't really know who Hal Jordan is because he hasn't been really portrayed as much as Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you at least do a movie where they're either both in it, or you focus on Jon Stewart because he's more well known?
Well, I mean, they're doing the Netflix show, which is going to be a huge flop.
Yeah, right. And it's too little, too late. And once again, the way it's being handled, it's eye roll. It's like, right?
Well, yeah,
they don't have a track record. They don't have a good track record.
You know what? I have forgotten about Lantern Show, but that's another symptom of the DC M-rated syndrome. That's a very grounded, mature rated right. show about Green Lantern.
It's very brown.
Yeah, very brown.
Very neutral, right? It's just I don't know. It's so frustrating, right? Because it's like they just don't get it and they don't want to, and the ones that do get it, they don't care because they're pushing their agenda.
So, question: What have you heard about SuperGirl? What have you heard? Have you read reviews? Have you read people's thoughts about the plot?
Yeah, I've read some reviews, and it's mostly negative.
Yeah.
She's not Supergirl. She's not heroic. She's a basket case. Yeah. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense.
I want to say parallel to Riri Williams
I would say it's on par. Probably a little better, right? Especially because the theatrical versus the series, right? But
right.
yeah, it's. I think it's probably along the lines of He-Man in the sense that it's probably entertaining, but when you really start thinking about it, you realize this is not a good movie. You
Right.
know, it's not very well done, right? So but it's been mixed. I mean, there's some people that liked it. They're like, oh, I liked it. It was fun. And that's the people that are like we mentioned at the beginning, the FOMOs and
Yeah.
the consume content guys. I
Yes.
just want to have fun consuming content.
Yeah.
So they don't want to overthink. They don't want to see the poison that's being slipped into the stew. They just want to enjoy the stew, right? And it's like,
Right.
okay, but you're gonna enjoy it at your own peril, right? Because
Well,
that way it's vapid and it's empty and it doesn't last. It just comes and goes. If you notice, the last decade, like what really comes to mind where you're going, oh man, like the only thing that comes to mind that still sticks in my brain that I think about with any level of nostalgia is Infinity War and Endgame. And that was what,
and,
2018?
and I would say Endgame with an asterisk.
Yeah, definitely with asterisks, I agree. But still, generally speaking, that's it. And that's only because of, obviously the scenes that were very satisfying, like Captain America, Thor,
Yeah, Captain
Iron,
America. Uh, um, uh,
their
the
arcs.
Mjolnir. Yeah, that was a really
Yeah.
cool scene.
And that's really it. There's really nothing else in there that's as satisfying. Right?
So,
Everything else is just stuff happening.
did the
Pandering and virtue signaling.
brand
That's
new
that's
uh, the Spider-Man brand new trailer flopped? What was that about?
We'll say it again.
The Spider-Man brand new day trailer, did it flop or something? The new trailer? I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Actually, no, I did watch it. Um, because a friend of mine asked me to give my take. You know, that's my
And
opinion.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I didn't care for it. Actually, we could watch it. Do you want to watch it? You
I'll
don't
see it
want to
later on
watch it.
my own. Well, maybe I don't know. It's okay. I don't want to.
But I have it queued up here. That's why I'm asking. I actually just have the link right here. But yeah, I didn't necessarily care for it. There was nothing in it that made me excited for it. Um,
Is Gwen Stacy supposed to be in this? I heard.
I don't know. I mean, it's basically the same characters from the previous movies. So Mary Jane, and that's Zendaya playing Mary Jane.
You mean anti-Mary Jane?
Yeah, the uh, Bizarro and Mary Jane.
Bizarre. Nega Mary Jane. Nega Mary Jane. Yeah, that's not Mary Jane.
Yeah, her Mary Jane's alternate multiverse doppelganger. I don't know, whatever. But yeah,
Evil doppelganger. Evil
yeah,
doppelganger.
evil. She's evil.
Just say that.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't care about it. I'm
Eh,
looking at it, and there's nothing in here where I go, oh man, it's going to be awesome. I'm kind of like, I just don't care.
But then,
After the last one, the which one? What was it called?
No Way
Yeah,
Home. What's it? I remember. Was it No Way Home?
the one where we had, was it No Way Home where you had the multiple Spider-Mans, right?
That was. You know what?
That
That
was
was.
so.
It was. Yeah.
It was so. There was nice cameos. I like Tobey Maguire was in it. Um, but yeah, I don't like that they supplanted Uncle Ben with his
With
aunt.
yeah,
She
yeah,
said his line. I don't like that at all. I
like
don't
that.
like that they killed her off. I don't like that she was sexualized. I don't like that either. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah. If you
She's
can,
supposed to be a
if
nice old lady. She's
if you
not supposed to
cast
be a
person,
sexy cougar.
exactly.
Otter.
Yeah, they made her. They made her this weird, sexy, attractive cougar. Like what? No.
No, she's supposed to be a nice old lady with gray hair,
Yeah.
wrinkles. So that was, and listen, they're trying to have fun with it, I guess, whatever. That's part of that whole modern audience nonsense. So,
Yeah.
that's why I still think Sam Raimi's version was the best, specifically Spider-Man 2, because you had the
Spider.
best of everything.
Yeah.
You had Doc Ock, you had the battle on the train, you had sacrificial heroism, you had the drama with Harry. Like, it just had everything. It was a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the only criticism is the web shooters.
Yeah.
That's the only downside is didn't have web shooters. Because to me, web shooters are important because it speaks to how smart and can't think of the word I'm trying to think of.
Resourceful.
The ingenuity of Peter
Yeah.
Parker.
Ingenuity.
Like, he was a smart person that was innovative. Like, he wasn't just some dumb high school kid, some nerdy high school. Like, he was smart, and so having the powers, and then figuring out, oh well, Spider's supposed to have webs, and he actually makes his own web fluid. Like, to me, that was always an awesome part of Spider-Man. So that was my only, and even I remember when the movie was about to come out, and I was hearing about that, and I was like, oh man, that sucks, man. I was kind of mad, but when I saw it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So I gave it a pass because everything else felt like Spider-Man, right? So, and even Tobey Maguire, I didn't like him, and he didn't necessarily have a great reputation either behind the scenes, but he did a great job as Peter Parker. I would say, another nitpick is everybody looked kind of too old for high school, but that's another that's another conversation. But yeah, this one, I don't know. The Hulk is in it.
Really? Like, what you mean? You mean Fruity Hulk? You mean effeminate Hulk? That version?
No, it looks like regular Hulk, not Professor Hulk or anything. It looks, at least that's what it looks like to me.
All right.
He looks like a regular, which I don't know why he would be. Yeah, it's definitely regular Hulk, but I don't know. Um, yeah, I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not excited about it. And the Punisher's in it. That's right. Which I like that actor that plays the Punisher. And when the Punisher series on Netflix was pretty awesome. It was really good.
Yeah, but then again, well, I mean, the Punisher as a character exists in a weird space for me mentally.
Well, I mean, he's a vigilante.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he is avenging his family. Similar,
No, yeah.
Batman, but what if Batman killed? That's kind of how I always define it. But higher level stuff, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this portrayal I thought was pretty good in on Netflix. Surprisingly, despite of Netflix, Daredevil too. Actually, I like Daredevil. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not excited about this iteration. So, um, and it looks like he has web shooters. So,
well, he's always had. I think that version's always had web shooters, though.
but I think there's something going on with his powers. So,
okay.
I wonder if they're going to try and give him the natural webbing like Tobey Maguire. That's kind of the impression I got from the clips. We'll see. I don't know. I hope not. I think that would be dumb.
I don't know. Toy Story 5.
Yeah. Toy Story 5. I haven't seen the trailer. I have no idea. I think I saw like a clip, the first one.
I haven't seen any of the
teaser or whatever with the Etch-a-Sketch thing, right? Not the Etch-a-Sketch, it was
a tablet. I think it was a tablet.
Yeah, it was some kind of leapfrog. That's it, leapfrog tablet. So I know it's kind of this tech versus traditional toys.
I don't know. I don't trust Disney. Even when they say a movie is good, like
Listen, I mean, I'll give them credit. I watched Toy Story 4. It was okay.
I hated Toy Story.
I didn't like that Woody left.
Well,
but
it wasn't.
I think they executed it well. So.
I mean, my issue with Toy Story 4 was quite a bit. Bo Peep was a girl boss.
Yeah, yeah. They
Both
made her,
was an
which
obnoxious, abrasive, annoying girl boss.
yeah, yeah. It was kind of
Okay.
it's kind of dumb when you think about it, like because she's made out of porcelain. Right?
Number
So
two.
it's kind of like, why would she would not be going out into the world?
No. Now,
Period. Whether she was a girl or a guy, you're made out of porcelain. You're not going
number
in.
number two, they regressed Buzz Lightyear's character development a lot. They
Yeah,
they got rid of his agency. They got rid of and all the development that he had gone through in the previous movies. They kind of reverted him back to the way he was in the first Toy Story in a way.
yeah. It was. I
And
thought. Well, they kind of did. I guess introduce newer toys, which was nice. But that's what I thought would happen, where he has to be the one to, sort of be the leader and help these toys
yeah, but
realize
he
their
didn't
purpose or something.
step up. I don't know. I just
Didn't really happen that way though. It really
Buzz
wasn't that.
Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear is probably one of my favorite Disney characters. Like my top five favorite Disney characters. Buzz Lightyear is definitely on that list. And
Yeah, they
I,
ruined it for me with the movie.
which with well, no, to me he was ruined in Toy Story 4, but yes, that was also
Yeah,
ruined.
that
Yes.
movie was garbage. I can forgive four, but the movie was awful. It was awful, especially knowing about the animated series, which
Oh yeah.
was really fun. That was a great series.
Although Pixar hates that show, by the way.
They did what?
Pixar hates that show.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care if they hate it. It's a good show.
Yeah, it is.
So if they hate it, something's wrong with them. But they probably don't hate the movie, right?
I don't know if they do or don't.
Well, they wouldn't have made it if they, That's what I'm saying. That's the problem, right? They've lost touch with the, I think John Lasseter being kicked out was a good
John
sign that Pixar.
John Lasseter was essential, and
Yeah, him getting removed was a
they
terrible thing.
yeah that was a horrible decision.
Yeah, it was dumb.
He
But it
was
was just a sign. It was a sign of the times, though. It was a sign that they are in decline. They're not. They're not the Pixar that we remember that did Toy Story 1 through 3.
I want to know what is John Lasseter doing right now? Is
He's
he
working with. I think he's working with Skydance Entertainment and Apple TV, developing animated movies, TV shows, and stuff.
okay?
So
Okay.
he's working. Yeah, he's still working. So he hasn't disappeared. He hasn't been in the forefront for obvious reasons, right?
All right.
But he is active. He is, and yeah. I think is it Skydance? No, maybe it's Legacy. I think it's one of those. It's one of those more indie production companies that are, probably owned by Paramount somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, he's still developing stuff and
Have you
producing.
seen like this new like slate of animated movies? Like there's this movie called Hex, which looks to be just
Yeah,
another I'm good enough and I change kind
yeah.
of
I don't care for it. Yeah, it's to
right.
me, it's just like it's. Yeah, I saw the trailer. It does not appeal to me at all.
Like I saw like a post about it and talking a little bit about the movie and how it's I'm okay. I don't need to change the world. The problem is the world and not me kind of things, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with the world.
Yeah.
There's never anything wrong with me. It's like, yeah, okay, we've seen that before.
And then I think there's another movie with two sisters and one of them has like the feminist haircut or whatever.
So that's two so far with female leads. Realize
Yeah. Yeah, there's none with male leads. Like
that.
what? Well, I mean, I heard that in Toy Story 4, even the male characters are sidelined. Toy Story 5.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
So
that it's mainly Jesse and the whatever the toy, leapfrog toy.
I don't get me wrong. I love Jessie as a character. I really do. I
Yeah, me
like.
too. It's cool. Yeah.
Let's see.
But it's not about making her the focal point. It's the fact that in the process, they're also demeaning the other male characters. Like there's one scene where apparently Buzz is riding like a pink unicorn as a horse, while Jesse's on a
What?
regular horse. Yeah, so it's like, okay, what are we doing?
Jeez. Yeah, I
And
heard.
it's just a gag.
I saw. I saw.
I
I saw.
guess.
There was a scene where Jesse and him kiss, and he puts his leg up as if he was a woman.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I was
So
like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well, what are we doing
"What are we doing?" Yeah.
here? Like I understand Jesse's a tomboy. Like it's like, okay, yeah, we get that. She's a cowgirl and she's, you know, like that's her shtick. But that doesn't mean Buzz is weak. And like Buzz is a freaking astronaut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Woody is a cowboy, right? Like none of them will be demeaned as effeminate or weak,
No.
right? Like what they represent is the opposite of that. So you understand it doesn't make any sense why you would need to do that, right? Like unless, like I said, the goal is to literally demean those things we know are true and good and righteous.
What upcoming animated movies do we have to look forward to that actually look good? I can't off the top of my head. Can you think of?
Nope.
No.
I don't know. If you guys watching, know, let us know in the comments. Let's see, but I don't think so. I don't have anything. Marissa Tomei haters.
I don't
hate on Marissa Tomei. She's beautiful. I like this Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
She was great in My Cousin Vinny. Man, that was great. So no. And
yeah,
she's in Seinfeld for a couple episodes. Yeah, she's great. There's no hate on her.
No, I just she's not
her being Aunt May. Like
exactly.
She's not Aunt May, bro. Come on now.
You know, I don't hate Idris Elba. Not man it.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei is awesome. I like her. Apparently, Holland and Spidey is. Oh, okay, yeah, I kind of suspect that's what's happening. That he's mutating, because I remember that arc from the animated series,
where he
goes
turned
through
into like
mutation,
spider thing.
spider legs, and all. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. So I wonder if they'll do that here. They'll probably do it and do like a body horror thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Because that's kind of what they're doing with the you heard about the Clayface movie, right? Or is it a series or
well, I mentioned that that's part of the problem with these R-rated villain-centric movies that they did with the Joker, but now.
Yeah. And listen, this is the thing. This is the lesson they're learning, right? The Joker, the first one, it did $1 billion. Right?
Yeah, but the sequel was trash, though.
Yeah, it was trash. It was. So,
right, apparently.
But they're still looking at that $1 billion and going, we got to do that again. And look, like I said, it's somewhat nuanced, right? It's like it follows that you would do a Clayface body horror style. I can't think of the proper term, but it's an old filmmaker. I can't remember the name, but it's like I get that. But I mean, it's something no one's asked for. I don't hear fans clamoring like, "Oh, we need a Clayface movie." I don't think anyone's asking for a Clayface movie.
No, so, no one wants.
So it's like, why is this being made? I don't know. Just because someone had this idea, like, hey, what if Clayface? We did the whole body horror, genre. Okay, and maybe it'd be in the same universe as the Joker.
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept, but it'd be nice to see more things on the brighter side. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. But
aspirational.
DC doesn't seem to be interested in doing more of that. They don't.
No, they don't, and they're getting what they paid for with James Gunn. So
yeah,
I think he's kind of destroying you.
They went from one bad director to another bad director. Like I never saw James Gunn as the savior of DC movies like everybody else. And oh, he's gonna be different. He's gonna change. He's gonna fix
Well,
things. He did not.
yeah, I mean, this is my thing. I don't think either him or Zack Snyder are bad directors. I think they're very talented, but they're making these choices for some. It's just like Christopher Nolan with the Odyssey.
Well, yeah,
You
you know
can't
what
argue that Christopher Nolan is not a talented
so
director, right?
so
But why is he
that
making terrible choices?
that boggles me.
Yeah,
I
but
know
you
he
understand. I'm kind of boggled by even Zack Snyder and um, James Gunn. It's like you guys are talented. You know what you're doing, right? You're smart enough to make
well
a good movie, but you
with
choose to make these subpar, you know, movies that inject nonsense, right? DEI,
that
race
yeah
swaps, you
they're
know,
they're more interested
progressive politics, et cetera, et cetera.
they're more interested
Why?
in subverting than they are, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's a choice. It's not accidental. It's not because they suck or they're. It's like no, these guys are talented. They know how to make a good movie. They know exactly what to do to make a movie that makes $1 billion.
But you also have to take a look at their past work. And nothing about Zack Snyder told me he would be good for Superman.
Well, that's fair. But that's kind of my point though. Is but then he worked on Wonder Woman. He was a part of that, and that was great. That was the opposite of Man of Steel.
But he didn't
It's kind
direct
of like
that.
okay,
He
so you can
right.
clearly be a part of something that isn't dark, brooding, you know.
Yeah.
So you know how to make something that's aspirational, inspirational, right? You just choose not to. And that's what's happened. Like they're choosing not to. And the question is, why are you choosing this? Right? What's causing you to, is it this is your true beliefs? Right? Remember Kathleen Kennedy worked with George Lucas and Spielberg and all these guys back in the day. She saw them make these wonderful movies like Goonies and E.T. and all this stuff, right? So she understands what's good cinema and what's not. But yet here she is, the force is female.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly she doesn't care, right? Or didn't care about appealing to existing fans or making objectively good content. She only cared about the force is female. We're going to make this about girl power. We're going to, right?
Right.
That's kind of my point is she's not dumb and she's definitely talented. She wouldn't be where she is if she wasn't, right? So she's consciously making a choice. I'm going to say F the fans
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to inject me into these things, right? I'm going to inject my ego, right? Because this is my time to shine, whatever it is. I don't know. You know, this is my agenda. And that's what I'm saying. Like, say, why are they doing this? Because they have to push this agenda for some reason. Maybe this is what they really believe. I don't know. You know, or maybe it's just because there's some incentivization, like Sweet Baby Inc. in the gaming space, right, et cetera, right? You know, something, you know. But it's like that's to me is the mind-boggling part is I know these people are talented because we can look back and see they've done things that are objectively good, right? But somehow
Well,
magically,
I think part of it is like with Kathleen is that she found herself in a position of power. It's like, oh, great! Now I
yeah,
can
it can cut loose and yeah,
yes,
yeah. I might be right. I mean, exactly. That may be as simple as that, right? She's just it's like the South Park episode, right? You know, put a chick in and make her gay.
right,
Like to
right,
sum it up, right? It's like, yeah, this is her, you know, because this reflects her worldview, her lifestyle, her proclivities, whatever it is. And for some reason, she feels the need to project it into her work, right? Into every project. And it's like, okay, you know, why you thought that would work, I don't know, but here we are, right? Star Wars is pretty much destroyed as a franchise. You know, if that was the goal, congratulations, I guess. If not, time to go back to the drawing board, right?
right,
So
yeah.
it's very strange. Yeah, it's like I don't believe this stuff is like there was a window of time in Hollywood where you could give them not a pass, but you could give them the benefit of a doubt that perhaps it was a bit tone deaf, right? Like when they did the Oceans, I think it was Ocean's 8, right? They're all female.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe that was just tone deaf, right? They thought it would be cool, but maybe it was too little, too late. The marketing wasn't very good, right? Like who knows, right? It just didn't work, right? It failed, because I don't even think that was necessarily like putting down mannery. I just think they just wanted an all-female cast with the same basic plot, right? The heist or whatever, which is like okay. I mean, you know, but it didn't work. It failed. It's like okay, and that could have been just being tone deaf, just not reading the room. I can give them the benefit of the doubt with some of that. The Charlie's Angels reboot. That was just awful. That was god awful, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but it could be the same thing, right? They thought they could, you know, uh, catch lightning in a bottle again, like they did with Drew Barrymore, right? And obviously that didn't happen, and so it's definitely possible. But I think now at this stage, with the people we're referring to, I just don't see that. I don't think that's what's happening.
I don't know. Something just popped in my head. I don't know if you've seen. This is a new show that's gonna be coming to Netflix with uh crud. What's his name? I blank. I hate when that happens. Will Ferrell.
Okay, yeah,
It's like where he's like a washed up golf pro,
okay.
right?
Supposed
Now
to
I saw the
man,
trailer. I saw the
charge
trailer for this thing, and it gave me a lot of like classic Will Ferrell movie comedy vibe. Like it felt like Talladega Nights. It felt like Anchorman. It felt like that Will Ferrell.
yeah.
Um, it looks interesting. I don't know if you saw that, but
No, I haven't seen it. Um, I haven't. I mean, I haven't thought about Will Ferrell in years. So
yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in anything in a long time. So it's kind of surprising, actually. But listen, I like Will Ferrell. I love the. I think Land of the Lost is kind of underrated.
I do like that.
I
Yeah.
really like that movie. It's really fun. Uh, he's funny in it, and I don't know. I think when it comes to like that's one of the rare examples of a sort of reboot, I guess, right? Um, where they deviate from the core, you know, of the original, right? Because the core of the original was already kind of campy, so they kind of just took that and just said, let's just have fun with this, and they did, and they had all the different, they had the characters, they had Chaka, all that stuff, and it was just, and they just reimagined Marshall, Will, and Holly, and I thought, okay, I mean, because at first I was kind of like, well, that's not, they're supposed to be a family and this and that. But when I watched the movie, and I didn't go and see it in the theaters, I saw it on streaming or whatever. And so I gave it a chance, and I just thought, you know what, this is actually really funny. It's actually really fun. So I don't know. I gave it a pass, I guess. Even though it deviates, sharply from the original series. Because I watched it when I was a kid, and I loved it. Because I love dinosaurs and all that stuff. And I love the time travel aspect. There was like an element to that. You know, but they did a good job with it. It was. I think they handled it in a very smart way. I'll put it that way. Where you could forgive it for not being a direct adaptation, right? And what was interesting is that they did the opposite of what we're kind of seeing today, right? Just imagine if they, which who knows if they're planning to, but if they did Land of Lost today, it would be dark and brutal, and you know, you'll have
Or
dinosaurs
they would
eating
race
people and all that
characters or
stuff.
something. I don't know.
Let's say it again.
Or they would race swap characters or something.
Yeah, they'll definitely race swap and gender swap for sure. Yeah, and Holly would be, Supergirl boss,
Yeah,
and it would be, she don't need no man.
exactly.
Get slaying dinosaurs, all that good stuff. All the men
Body
cower
slam.
behind
You
trees.
could body slam a T-Rex. Yeah.
Like that's what they would do, right? I mean, and it, like I said, it would be just dark and brutal, brutalist. And, you
Well, buddy,
it wouldn't even be Jurassic Park. Right?
no,
It's
I
still
I am
Jurassic.
getting hungry, so I'm going to get something to eat.
Yeah, I know. What time is it?
It's like 3:30 my time.
Okay, yeah, it's 12:30 here. Yeah, that's a good breaking point. So, but thanks, man, for joining me today. I
Oh
appreciate
man,
it.
no problem. I had some things to say, so
Yeah, and I love it, and I always like to hear your points of view. And
I appreciate it.
yeah, man, thank you, and thanks guys for watching and joining us. We appreciate your time and attention. Check out supergalacticfantastic.com. Join our email list, get a free 12-page comic. And yeah, we got some things in the pipeline coming down. We got some more pages done for the book. And
Yeah,
if you
let
want to
me
see,
know. Let me know when you want me to do some more editing for you.
oh, I definitely will. Yeah, I definitely will because I'm actually writing a script for a new series because I want to enter a contest. It's an AI filmmaking contest.
It's just Justice Lords.
Yes,
Okay.
so I'm going to be sending you some scripts to edit. So
All right.
that'll be happening hopefully
Sounds good.
by next month, like mid next month.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, because yeah, man, I'm going to enter because I want to win some money.
Hear that?
So and this is kind of living the dream for me because I've always wanted to turn my ideas into animation. So this is pretty interesting. So interesting times,
It
So we'll
indeed,
see.
yeah.
But thanks again, man, and I appreciate it, Hero Geek. And yeah, if you need editing, reach out to Hero Geek. He's on X.
Yes,
He's
please.
at Hero Geek, and yeah, he's really great. He edited our last book. He's did some other editing for some friends of mine. So he's really good, very thorough, and he has a lot of great ideas. So give a shot, check him out. And
Thank you.
that's it for today. You guys have a super galactic Saturday. We'll
All
see
right,
you
later.
around.